What's up, guys? We're back with another video.
Yes, and today, oh wait, pause. If you're new, hey, welcome to our channel.
Hello.
And if you are a regular, thanks for coming back and supporting us. We appreciate it. What are you doing?
Be in your hands.
Okay, anyways. Today we're actually gonna do something a little different.
Dun, dun, dun. The whole world shakes.
So we're gonna have a discussion about society's standards. So This topic may get a little deep. Maybe we'll stay on the surface. I don't know. We're just gonna go with the flow, see where it leads us. But recently, you know, Rye's my best friend, my best bud.
She's my best friend too.
We had like a late night conversation, like, you know, when it's like 3 a.m. and you start thinking about like all types of stuff and y'all be talking about anything. So that's basically what happened.
Anything and everything.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why he's my best friend. We basically had a whole discussion about like, you know, society standards and how like we are expected to do certain things and live our life a certain way, yet at the same time, you know, it's always been portrayed to us as like we have free will, we get to make our own decisions and stuff. But yes, we get to make our own decisions. However, society and the people around us influence us to live a certain way. So we can make our own decision, but you know, if you get married at 18, people are gonna look at you funny and judge you. Or you can make your own decision, but if you have a baby at 16, people are gonna judge you, you know? So it's that kind of thing. So it's like we get to make our own decisions, yet at the same time, people judge you and they talk about you and they look down on you for the decisions that they told you you're allowed to make because it's your life. So it's kind of like it contradicts itself. So we just wanted to come to you guys and discuss what we think about the standards that society holds us to. And pretty much how we don't agree with them. College. I think college is good for people, but I don't think it's for everybody. You can make a living, you can have a career and be successful without going to college.
Yeah, I feel like
college is a scam.
Yeah, I feel like it pretty much is a scam because there's people who, you know, pay for loans and they're in college, they're in debt, they get out of college, they graduate from college, they're like $40, $50, $100,000 in debt, depending on how much the college costs. They get out, they have a degree. The degree doesn't get them a job, so they're off working, you know, a standard job.
Some people have to get like 2 jobs.
Yeah.
You know, to make it work or whatever.
Yeah, and then they're out here working a standard job, something a person who didn't go to college is doing. But yet they're not in debt, and the person who went to college, they have a degree and they're in debt, but yet they're still working the same job. So just because you graduate from college doesn't mean that's a guaranteed success.
But you know, when people own businesses, you do have to go to college for that. Like, you're investing your time into college when you should be investing your time into the business that you're going to start. College is kind of like if you do go to college and you get a degree, I won't say it's completely pointless. Say the business doesn't work out or, you know, something goes wrong. Now you have a degree and you can get a job in that field and whatnot, and you have that degree. So it's kind of like a little, what do you call it? Not a safe spot, but like, you know, something that just gives you something to lean on.
Yeah, but I remember I was telling you, I feel like people shouldn't have plan Bs or they shouldn't have a fallback or, you know, a safe spot because they're just planning for their plan A to fail. When you plan like that, it just makes it, you know, I mean, I get where the plan B will come. Like if you fail for plan A, then you have a backup plan. But I just feel like if you're planning for plan B, you're planning for plan A to fail. When
it comes to stuff like that, like really, if it works or not, that's completely up to you. We as people don't give ourselves enough credit and we don't realize how in control over a situation we are. And when it comes to like this specific situation where you have your own business and it doesn't seem to be working out, you know, you're still in control over it. So you make the changes you need to make. You make the sacrifices and the risk and all that stuff to make it work. Honestly, to me, nothing should never not work. You know, and if your business didn't work, it's because you didn't.
And that's for anything. Like if you don't get the job that you want, or you know, if you have the job that you want, but it doesn't work out, it's because you didn't try hard enough for it to work out. Everybody's gonna fail, but you don't really fail until you give up, because you could fail, you get back up, you fail, get back up, fail, get back up. Eventually, you're going to get it, and eventually you're going to pass. But if you give up, then there's no other chances. You're going to just fail.
So like if you keep applying for this job, but it's not working, and then you just settle for some regular job, that's kind of your fault, because, you know, they can say no 1,000 times, but all it takes is one yes. Our advice would be just don't give up, because, you know, you are always in control, and you can make it work.
And at that, do what you want to do. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to people who makes you feel like you have to live life a certain way. For example, if you're in high school and you see everybody else applying for college, but you know deep down inside that what you want to do doesn't require college, but you just want to go to college to fit in. Like, don't do that. Don't try to fit in. You just living a life that you don't want to live. At the end of the day, you're putting yourself in debt that you don't need to be in. So just live life how you want to, and not based off of how others feel or how society says, oh, like, yeah, you gotta go to college, this and that. Or like, just don't listen to the naysayers. Like,
you have to walk in your shoes every single day. They don't, you know, they're on the outside and you're the one that's living in it. So you have to deal with all that it throws at you. And so it's better to, like, life is always going to throw stuff at you and put you in hard positions, but it's better to, you know, have to deal with that stuff in a happy place than in an unhappy place. When you're in a place that you want to be in, it makes dealing with the hard things a little easier than if you already don't want to be there. And now you have these hard things coming at you. So that just makes it 10 times worse. So always do what you want to do, but make sure it's nothing crazy. Like, don't just be out here doing anything and getting yourself into trouble or bad situations, or, you know, causing harm to yourself. Be smart about it. It's important to be happy, but just be smart about the decisions you make at the same time. So yeah,
I agree.
All right, great. Glad we're on the same page. That's why you're my bestie.
That's why you're my bestie.
Where's Mac? Please. Marriage is a big one. Marriage is a big one. I feel like, personally, you can get married when you want to whoever you want to, as long as it's right for you. So, you know, right now I'm 19, you're 25. Just kidding. I'm playing. Bro, y'all, so I'm 19.
I'm 22.
He's 22, yes. Okay. So, like, say we got married right now. People like, Kennedy, you're married? Like, I have a promise ring on my finger, but it's on my left hand. So, it's like where my ring, yeah, it's on my ring finger. So, people always, like, look at my hand and they're like, they always make this face. And I'm like, calm down before you get your panties in a bunch. It's just a promise ring, okay? Chill. So I already know that if I was to, like, if we were to actually get married right now, like, people would be like in shock. Yeah, like, oh my gosh, you're married? Like, you don't even know, you know, you're only 19. You should be living your life.
You didn't even graduate college yet.
Yeah, and it's like, okay. Everybody knows that, you know, 19, 20, your 20s, all that's supposedly a time for fun, and you're growing and you're learning who you really are. You know, I completely get that. But, you know, living my best life may not be partying all the time, or, you know, going out all the time, or all these other things that people assume it to be, that society says it is. Living my best life is, you know, being with Ryan and spending time with him. Please. And Honora. Shucks. And, you know, growing with him and, you know, building a life with him and things of that nature. And, of course, being with my family, being with my friends, you know, things of that nature. But I'm not one that's like, oh, I can't be in a serious relationship right now because, you know, I'm only 19. Like, I don't need to worry about that. That's not where my head is at. I mean, and all that stuff is cool, but I could do that with you. Like, who says that I can't do that while also being with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't I do both? Like, why is that such a crime? So, you know, I feel like society has taught us that, you know, you have to have your life together before you get into marriage.
Or, like, you gotta be, like, a certain age.
Yeah,
like,
a certain
in
age.
your 30s.
You know, I'm not saying rush into marriage and everybody should get married at a young age. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying do what works for you. Like, I personally want a big wedding. Not a big one, but I want a wedding, you know, with the dress and flower girl and all that stuff. You know, I don't have wedding money. I don't have none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we've discussed marriage and stuff, and it'll come a little bit later down the road, because right now, you know, I am in school. I am waiting until, like, I get a little more financially stable, because right now I'm working at Chipotle making $10 an hour. I mean, how am I going to afford a whole wedding ceremony?
At the same time, you get married, like, legally, like, through, you know, the courts or whatnot, but then, like, we can have a wedding later, or, like, we can, like, do something like renew our vows and, like, have a big event. Or...
Yes, that is very true. I just don't necessarily want to go about it that way.
Okay, you didn't even want to get married. Not saying she didn't want to get married to me, but like when I first met her, she never wanted to get married.
Okay, don't throw my business out there.
But yeah, she found
so much
me.
for a best friend. Supposed to keep my secrets. But I mean, like, yeah. So you're right. We could just get married legally and then do the rest later. That is very true. But that's not the way I want to go about it. I don't want to do a wedding. I want a honeymoon. I want.
So in other words, she wants to be engaged for 5 years. Okay.
5 years, yo. Okay.
What do you feel like the length of engagement?
2.
2. What do y'all think? Leave a comment below. How long do y'all think?
We ain't about to be engaged
Somebody
for
should be engaged.
5 years or more. Like that is such a long time.
I feel like,
I mean, I know. Listen, I ain't judging. You know, some people that works for y'all, but for me, no.
All right, 3 years would be max for us.
That's fine. I'll compromise because that's what we do.
That's what we do as best friends.
That's what we do.
Parents.
If I had some tea, I would sip it.
They probably got married.
Cause back in the day, it was a different life.
Yeah.
You got married, being divorced was like forbidden. So people stayed in marriages they probably shouldn't have stayed in.
Right.
And I'm not saying because we ain't getting divorced. So if we shouldn't stay in our marriage, we're gonna stay in it.
Yeah,
we're
we'll
gonna keep that tradition because I'm not getting married multiple times.
Me either.
But no, yeah, like you know, they live life a different way and they push that onto us. But like times have truly changed. Like, you know, like, okay, real quick, people always get mad that kids are always on technology and cell phones and stuff, but like that's what's happening. Like a couple years from now, like 20 years from now, this whole world will be technology based. Like people are about to start losing jobs because some technology is going to replace them. It's good for our kids to know how to operate those things. I feel like those generations don't have an open mindset for change. So they're like, no, that's not how it's about to go. You know, even though the times are changing and things are changing, they're not open to that. And I think that causes a lot of problems with our generations. Like we clash a lot when it comes to those things.
Not to say that it's right or whatnot, because who am I to judge? But if you notice, like there's a lot more people. I feel like there's a lot more people today who have kids before marriage than they were in our parents' generation. Yeah,
I agree. A lot of my friends have had children, and like I'm happy for them. I'm not like, oh my gosh, you had a baby, or oh my gosh, you're pregnant. I'm like, oh, I'm an auntie. This is wonderful. Like, you know, and I'll have little babies to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very supportive, and I feel like a lot of people in today's world aren't supportive, and you have to conform to what society expects. And if you be yourself, then it's like a crime. You know, it's a problem. It's an issue.
For me personally, I don't pay attention to that stuff. I mean, I'll listen, like, you know, like if a parent or somebody older than me wants to give me some advice, of course I'll listen to it or whatnot. But at the end of the day, you know, it's my life, so I'll choose how I want to live my life. And if you know, someone tells me that I shouldn't get married until, you know, till I'm 30, I'm not gonna listen to that, because deep down in my heart, I know she's my one. I knew that since day one, that she was my one. So, you know, I'm not gonna give too much details, you know, I don't want nobody to know. But when I'm ready to pop the question, just saying. So in conclusion, just live life how you want to. Be smart about it though. But don't let society and other people determine your happiness or determine how to live your life. Because at the end of the day, like my queen was saying, you have to walk in your shoes every single day.
Yep. So guys, we might come back with like a part 2 if you guys want to hear more of our thoughts about, you know, other societal standards, and just let us know.
Societal? Is that even a word?
Yes, it's a word.
if you guys,
isn't that a word? I'm not tripping.
Know.
I'm smart. I'm not stupid. That's societal. Okay. Look it up. Okay. We're gonna look it up.
Well, if you want to hear like our thoughts on like different topics that's, you know, that involve society or whatnot,
or if you guys just want us to talk about other things, like if you guys like, you know, talk about this or do this, you know, let us know, okay? Because
in the comments,
we're here to please you. You know, because pleasing you makes us happy. We're not doing it because we have to. It makes us happy.
Yeah, it makes
we want to know what you guys want to watch when, you know, y'all got some downtime and y'all chilling on YouTube. So comment below, like, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And of course, we will be back with another video next time.
So that means we'll see you later.